So I got something super cool for you, Kimya. I was watching my nephew play this game on his tablet the other day, and it was just pure chaos. Flashing lights, constant dings and notifications. He was building and destroying entire worlds in seconds. It got me thinking, are the games we play actually changing who we are generationally?
Oh, 100%. Kafka, you have stumbled into like my absolute favorite topic. It's not just changing us, it's literally, wiring our brains in fundamentally different ways. The very architecture of the games we grow up with shapes our entire approach to problem solving, to patience, and even our definition of creativity. It's a massive, massive deal.
Okay, so you have my full attention now. Let's start with us, Millennials. I think about the games that defines my childhood. I mean, besides Roller Coaster Tycoon, I sank probably 1,000 hours into things like Final Fantasy VII or Ocarina of Time. Very structured experiences.
Yes, those are like the perfect examples. They were epic, story-driven games. The developers were like these grand authors. They created a massive, detailed world and a very specific linear path for you to follow. You couldn't just, decide to ignore the main quest and go start a turnip farm somewhere. You had a job to do.
Right, and it took forever. I distinctly remember spending a whole weekend just trying to get one specific item, fighting the same monsters over and over. There was no instant gratification there at all. It was all about the long, slow grind.
The grind, yes. The core mechanic was delayed gratification. You perform a repetitive, sometimes even boring action, grinding, for the promise of a future, larger reward. And you had to play by the rules, You read the dialogue, you followed the map markers. It teaches your brain to work within a predefined system, to follow a narrative, and to deeply understand that effort now leads to a reward later. Much, much later.
So is that why our generation seems so obsessed with career ladders and structured work environments? Because we were all just trained by Nintendo and Square Enix to follow the quest marker?
It's a massive contributing factor. It really is. We learned that success comes from following a predefined path laid out by an authority, the game developer. So, we get into the workforce and we instinctively look for the game designer, our boss, to give us the next quest and tell us what the reward will be.
Wow, okay, that really hits a little too close to home. So let's flip it completely. My nephew and Roblox. It seemed to have absolutely no rules at all. It was just an open space.
Exactly. Because in games like Roblox and Minecraft, the player is the game designer. The developers just provide the tools, the digital building blocks. There is no 80-hour main story quest written for you. The quest is whatever you can possibly imagine. It's a total paradigm shift.
He was making an obstacle course. An obby, he called it. Then he was a pizza delivery guy.
An obby, yes, and the second he got bored of that, he could jump into another user-created world where he's, running a restaurant or adopting a fantasy pet. The content is literally endless because the users are making it, and the feedback you get is instantaneous.
Okay, so let's dig into that feedback loop. What does that do to a developing brain compared to my weeks-long quest for the Master Sword?
The loop is incredibly tight and fast. In a hyper-casual mobile game, you tap, you get a star. You swipe, you get a coin. In Roblox, you build a wall, your friend sees it immediately and comments. You fail a jump, you respawn in 1 second flat. It's a constant, non-stop stream of micro-dopamine hits. It trains the brain to expect an immediate result from every single action.
So they're being conditioned for a world of instant feedback. That sounds like it could be potentially problematic when they face a real-world problem that takes months or even years to solve.
That's the challenge for sure. There can be a real friction when they encounter processes that are inherently slow. But the upside is like this incredible resilience to failure. For us, failing a boss in Final Fantasy felt devastating. It could mean redoing an hour or more of progress. For them, failing is a normal, constant, low-stakes part of the learning process. They've failed millions of times in games. It just means try again, but slightly differently.
So they're masters of iteration. They just keep trying.
Total masters. They will try and fail and tweak and pivot at a speed that would give most millennials whiplash. They aren't invested in the plan because, there was never a rigid plan to begin with. The goal is to create, experiment, and have fun in the moment. It's an agile mindset baked in from childhood.
And what about the economy of it all? I hear about kids making actual money in these games. That's a whole other level.
Oh, you're touching on the creator economy, and yes, it's wild. In Roblox, you can design your own items, your own clothes, or even your own entire games and sell them for Robux, which can be converted to real money. So they're not just players, they're like entrepreneurs. They're learning about design, marketing, supply and demand. It's incredible.
That's insane. So while I was just consuming a story, they're learning to be digital business owners. And what about the social side? I played games alone in my room. He was constantly talking to 10 other kids while he was playing.
Right. The social aspect is maybe the biggest difference of all. Gaming for Gen Alpha is inherently social. It's their third place, after home and school. It's not just a game, it's where they hang out. They're collaborating on builds in Minecraft, forming guilds in Roblox, all while on a Discord call. They're learning complex social negotiation and collaboration skills, all baked into their playtime.
So they're not just learning to be creators and entrepreneurs, but remote team members?
100%. They're learning to work in decentralized, agile teams on creative projects with people from all over the world. When you put it in that corporate jargon, it sounds like a job description from LinkedIn. But for them, it's just playing. It's a deeply powerful skill set they are building without even realizing it.
This is blowing my mind. So let me try and recap this whole thing one last time. Millennials, we played games that were like epic novels. They were long, linear, and meticulously crafted. They taught us to follow a path, be patient, and work for a distant but glorious goal.
Exactly. You're the hero consuming a grand story.
Right, and Gen Alpha, they're playing in digital Lego sandboxes the size of planets. There's no story, so they have to create it. It teaches them rapid iteration, entrepreneurship, creativity, and complex collaborative social skills, all built on a foundation of instant feedback.
You've absolutely nailed it. They are the producers, directors, and stars of their own experience. It's not about one being better, but, about how these digital worlds are creating fundamentally different cognitive toolkits for navigating the real world. And it's just so incredibly cool to watch it happen in real time.
It really is. It makes me see that tablet screen in a whole new light. It's not a distraction, it's a training ground for the 21st century. I guess that's all the time we have for this episode of 60 Second Scholar.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Join us next time where we'll probably talk about something just as nerdy and fascinating.